Well, it's an early start today. I've been kind of stopped for the rain for the last couple of days, and it looks like I'm going to get a day today that's going to be good weather, and then tomorrow will be rainy again. So hopefully I can sneak in primer for the end that I've just finished welding, which seemed to go pretty well. And yeah, primer on that end, and then the end that I've already finished before, and I've already had one coat of the final green, finish it. So worst case is Friday morning, I'll probably be doing a coat of green paint on the rest of it. But yeah, let's go for it, eh? Now who can guess what that is? So, I had to stop yesterday a bit early because it looked like it was going to rain. Of course, it sprinkled a bit, but it didn't rain much, so it didn't hurt anything. All I managed to do was to paint this end down here with the catio, about half of it, and just the top section. I was going to continue on to the sides and kind of get half of it fully finished, but I was worried. And it's one of those things where if I had done it, it probably would have rained. You know, you get bad luck sometimes if you push yourself. So yeah, I'm just going to basically finish that in today for sure. The other thing I've done yesterday was I took the rust paint and I touched up anywhere I welded, anywhere there were bolt heads. A lot of the bolts that I put in they're all galvanized steel anyway, so it's not like they're gonna rust, but put them on anyways. It kind of gives a bit of a painted look to it, so it makes it look a little older. I don't mind lots of layers of paint on things. I don't know, it's just a bit of a waste of time, but why not, right? I did cut the heads of the bolts off for some of the things so that it may rust on the very tip. So I'll put it on anyway. So I did anyway. So that's all done. All the rust, all the red paint's done. Then what we've been doing is because we bought in different paint that was fast drying, but it's a slightly different hue. It was supposed to be the same RAL color, but it's not. So it's a little more blue than what we had, and we don't want to go and repaint all the posts that we had already done. So we went back and bought an additional paint to the final coat, but it's so close, it's just slightly off that you couldn't let it go. We're going to leave the gazebo over there with it on it. You can't see visually, it doesn't really make a difference, but just we didn't want to have to repaint everything another time. So I'm going to go back once I finish over the red rust paint stuff with the blue to do kind of a first coat of that greenish blue. And then it dries, touch dry in an hour. And I found it's even quicker than that. And then it's repaintable in 4 hours. So on a nice day like today, or at least for now it's nice, that should be ready to go in 4 hours. So I'm going to go and do all that touch up at the end, then come back and start doing the bits I missed yesterday with the paint color we actually want, which is the greener one. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, by the time I get back today, I get the whole thing done, and that's it. And then we're painted, we're done, and unless I missed anything, we're good to go. So yeah, the only issue is today at around 7 at night, it looks like it may rain. A rain shower is what they're calling for. It's like 50-60%. And from when I was doing the concrete pours this time of year, and then in the fall, it gets a bit iffy. But I always found it was kind of better to risk that it's not going to happen versus it does. There was only like 1 or 2 times that it really poured. So looking at today, it's absolutely blue and clear. There's no winds, perfect day for painting. So I'm going to take that risk, and I'm just going to paint it all, and hopefully, a little sprinkle shouldn't hurt it. As long as it doesn't all wash it all off, hopefully it doesn't ruin it, but I think it'll be fine. Worst case, if it does wash off, it paints again, right? What's the big deal? Anyways, wish me luck. This could be the end. So, it looks like a lovely day, but just in the break of me waiting for, there's going to be, I think, a storm coming through, and the paint that's on there right now should dry quite quickly if it's not already dry. So I've got about an hour to wait. Looks beautiful out, but it's an hour to wait, and then it looks like this big little storm is going to whip through in like 20 minutes and then be done. And then I'll have the rest of the day to paint. So if it's shake the old Arbor off and paint after, that's great. But one of the things I want to do right after doing this Arbor, which is probably next week, hopefully, is I want to start pouring about 2 inches of concrete on the bottom of this trench. And that's going to raise up these caniveau things, which are kind of like drainage channels. And the idea is that I want them to be at approximately the level of the tiles for when we go to put those down, hopefully next summer. I can do it this year. And that will allow the water to drain smoothly all the way along. And I'm going to put a box in under the sink near the pool room that's going to collect the water, and then have a cap on where it collects it. And if I decide, and I know they're going to, especially in the summertime when I get a lot of rain, I can undo the cap, and that will go down into through a pipe and into the drainage channel, which it kind of does now. It's just right now it's bringing in, bits of concrete that's left in here, leaves, and all sorts of junk. So what I'm going to do is just temporarily lay these all on top, keep most of the debris out, and then when we get a big thunderstorm in the summer, all that water will collect it, because that's when we need the water the most. So, you know, when I get my tanks down quite low, they'll fill up within like a couple hours. Like if it get an all-day rain, we'll be back right where we want to be. So I've got these spikes. Then these basically stakes, they held up the forms, which were basically just the two pieces of wood stacked on top of each other that made these channels. And then I took a few days to remove them, and it was a bit of a mess. But anyways, they came out, but I couldn't get the spikes out at the time. I've managed to get one out. I was thinking I'm going to have to make a big device, like drill through it with something sort of rod to pull it up, or I don't know, or drill them out. But you see, they're quite long to drill out. I do have a drill that would probably do it, but it would also probably dull my bit. So what I just found is I kicked one, and I thought, oh, that's a bit loose. And they weren't, trust me, they weren't loose like last fall when I was taking all this out. So by hitting these with the sledgehammer back and forth, because there's such a small amount of concrete in there, and because these things have degraded and they're quite soft now, and you know, they'll be firewood at best, I was able to get them to move. So all I've had to do is hit it back and forth, and that went really easily. And then what I'm doing is I'm grabbing some vice grips, putting them on, and then, oh, this is going to come out like that. They come straight out. So that's fantastic, because I was thinking I'm going to be doing this for days. I have another few sets to do. There's not that many. I intentionally kept them very low because I thought it'd be difficult to get out. Once I get those out, I'm good to pour, and that's another thing, huge thing off the list. So let's see if I can get that done today, or at least before it rains, or well, including after it rains. We'll see. Because yeah, I've got things like rebar poking through, which I kind of knew would happen, and I'm just going to get an inch or two of height up on this, and it'll be nice and smooth. I'll get the drainage going well with this. All I have to do is plop in those canivos or drainage things, and then mortar around them, and then the tiles go right to the top of them flush. Let's try the ones near the door. These ones are a little stiffer. They do seem to be moving though. I think it's going to come out. It's certainly wiggly. I can feel them coming up. They're just really slow. Yeah, I can see it coming. Yeah, it's higher than the other one. There's going to be a lot of work. They're both really close to coming out. That's enough. Oh, that's really loose. Awesome. I have one that broke off here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that one out. I have to get a crowbar or something else for that one. Maybe not. Maybe it'll go this way. You can use it as a wedge. I think a crowbar is going to do it. Yep, that's coming out. There we go. Nice. Let's keep going. Unfortunately, at this point, this cloud here came in very quickly, and I had to put everything away for the day. This so-called brief thunderstorm ended up lasting well into the night. But hey, look at these roses. They're at least very happy with all the rain I've been getting. I really appreciate you watching, and if you have a second, smash the thumbs up for me and consider subscribing if you haven't, to support me and to follow my renovation journey. Cheers!